7 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. Please bow your heads for the invitation. Dear God, please bless our elected officials. Grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call. We can forego that since it's a Zoom meeting tonight. All counselors are in attendance on Zoom this evening. Approval of minutes for the City Council meeting of December 7th would be in order.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported. Is there any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Against? Motion does pass. We now go to audience comments on any non-agenda items. I know that we do have our representative for the state of Michigan, Jeff Yark, is here this evening. Jeff, did you have something you'd like to say?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to touch base with the council. It's been a tough year for everyone. Normally I like to get out to all the board and commission meetings. It's a little harder. Obviously we can't do it in person, but I'm going to be trying to get around to the various virtual meetings as much as possible. I've always been available. I appreciate everything that the city's had to do to adjust. There's a number of things at Lansing we've done regarding the Open Meetings Act, extending it to allow for the virtual meetings. I will say, as far as revenue sharing and local government funding, I continue to remind that as we are, just be forewarned that although we were able to use a lot of federal money and shifting of money in this year's budget, next year could be bad. So I would plan on potentially bad. I'm hoping we bounce back, but keep that in your minds. I'm sure you are. There's always been very fiscally conservative on the city council. But I continue to remind people in Lansing that, local government never actually got returned to its full funding level after the recession. And that when cuts are going to come, that I'm really fighting that we don't hit local government again, because I always remind people that the local government never got it back.
We appreciate that, Jeff.
No, I get it. And, we did extend the moratorium on water shutoffs to March 31st. Some of that had one covered some of the liability with the executive orders being rejected by the Supreme Court. So some of that is to ensure that the people that had more water moratoriums, that they were in line with the law. And then we extended it to March 31st. We're trying to find a reasonable place as we try to get through all this. Hope all the CARES money got through to the city and all the PPE issues have been addressed. I hope we're doing well there. One thing I'd like to say is I want to acknowledge Director Getzinger. I received in my water bill my surveying of the water line. I thought it was really appreciate taking advantage of the technology to just take a picture on my phone, and I have sent the picture of mine. One thing I'd like to say is that did not come from legislation. That was through the rules, the rulemaking processes through DEQ. So I just want to share with you that this was not a bill that I voted on to put this unfunded mandate on local government, and in fact tried to get money for local government to cover that. But I just wanted to share that I had not forgot my local government roots, that I did not vote for a bill to put on some of these things on local government. With the exception of the moratorium, but there's things we need to do because of this. So I just wanted to be available. If the council had any questions, I'm here. As you always know, you can reach out and call.
Yeah, no, we appreciate your support on that issue also. I didn't think that you probably would have voted for that, knowing your 17 years on the city council. You appreciate unfunded mandates as much as we do. So, any counselors have any questions or anything? Well, we've got them. No, Jeffrey, have a happy new year. We appreciate what you've done in Lansing to represent us, and we look forward to the next 2 years with you in Lansing speaking on our behalf.
Thank you, and I wish you all a happy holiday and happy new year, and hoping for a much better 2021.
I hope so. We all hope so. All right. Is there anybody else under audience comments?
I don't believe so.
Okay, we will move on. Adoption of agenda, Mr. City Manager, any changes?
No changes.
City Council, any changes?
Nope.
Then a motion to accept the agenda as presented would be in order.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Against? Motion does pass. We need a motion for the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. There is no discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to items for consideration this evening. We have 5 of them. The first one being consideration of well number 14 fence bid award. Mr. City Manager.
The 2020-21 budget included $30,000 for the installation of fence around the isolation area of well number 14. This is the well located near 33 Mile Road in Low Plank, just outside the city limits. During a recent sanitary sewer survey, Eagle reminded us of the requirement that the isolation area at well number 14 should be fenced due to this property being adjacent to a farm field. Based on some questions that administration received last meeting or prior to the last council meeting, we did revisit the exact requirements of Eagle on how much of the property needed to be fenced, and Jim was able to reduce the scope of that. We have a slightly smaller isolation area at that well than some others. So with that, you'll notice although the low bid was for $32,100, we have spoke to the contractor and we are recommending a reduced area of 200 by roughly 260. And the low bid would then be $20,091.32 to statewide fence and supply. And Jim Getzinger, our public service director, is here tonight if you have any questions.
Jim, did you have anything that you would like to add to John's comments?
Only that certainly the larger area that we can protect is, in general, better. But I certainly appreciated the thought and the comments that we did receive prior to the last meeting. I had neglected or not realized that we do have a reduced isolation area at that well, meaning it's a 200-foot diameter, if you will, versus a standard is 400 foot, and that property is 400 foot square. So the original bid was based on that 400-foot isolation area. As the city manager mentioned, we are actually able to reduce that at a cost savings to the city and to the 200 by approximately 260 area.
Very good. Okay, council, is there a motion?
Make the motion to authorize the expense of $20,091 for the installation of fencing at well 14 by statewide fence and supply, with expense charges to the appropriate line item in the water fund.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any further discussion on this?
I just have a question. I know we have the reduced scope, but is it safer to have it a little bit wider?
Well, when I did ask our representative at Eagle that question, is there any value to fencing additional area? And he said, based on the makeup of the surrounding area, that there wasn't anything significant, that as long as we met the minimum in this case, he did not see any value. Now, certainly if we were to say re-drill the well or relocate it, we would need to move the fence at that point. But so the short answer would be no, per Eagle, this would be the appropriate action. The reduced area would be acceptable.
Okay. Anything else? Is there any audience participation in this, John?
Not unless any of the other department directors, and I can't tell if our state rep jumped off the call.
Right, still here.
Still here.
Yep. So
It's Rob.
Pardon me?
We lost Rindell.
Oh, we lost Rob. Okay. All right. anyhow, if there's no further comments or questions, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Okay, Rob. We're going to move on to item number 2 then. Consideration of the Murs Addendum. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to consider approving an addendum to the Murs contract. In the city of Richmond, the full-time patrol officers, the sergeant, and the 911 dispatchers are part of the Murs defined benefit plan. Murs recently has required that municipalities with defined benefit plans clarify what type of employees are eligible for participation in the plan. Essentially, many municipalities kind of define full-time slightly differently than others. And so Murs wanted to have all these addendums to their plans so they could clearly define who is and who is not eligible to participate in the plan. So our city treasurer, Angel Hatfield, and myself have gone through the addendum, filled out the appropriate information for the city of Richmond. This is not something new. It's just kind of putting in, formalizing past practice and what we have in our current union contracts. And Angel and I are here tonight if you have any questions.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the Murs defined benefit plan adoption agreement addendum for the city of Richmond and authorize the city manager to sign on behalf of the city of Richmond.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Comments, questions? Does Angel have anything that you'd like to add to this? Do you think we're going to get a response from Angel?
It's
on mute.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
There she goes.
Any comments, Angel? Nope.
Evidently not.
Yep, no, we're all good.
All right. No audience on this?
No.
Okay. Back to the table. Anything else, council? All in favor of the motions signify by saying aye.
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 Against? Motion does pass. Item number 3, consideration of interlocal agreement, Macomb County's designated assessor. Mr. City Manager.
City Council is scheduled to consider signing an interlocal agreement for Macomb County to approve the designated assessor for the period of January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2025. Public Act 660 of 2018 requires each county in the state of Michigan to have a designated assessor on file with the State Tax Commission as of December 31st, 2020. The intent of the designated assessor is to have an accredited assessor ready to be assigned to a community in a case community is found to be in non-compliance with the State Tax Commission, or something happens to their assessor and they no longer are available. The designated assessor could step in and help the community out while the community searches for a new assessor. We have checked with the State Tax Commission, being that the city of Richmond is in both Macomb and St. Clair counties. Both counties are going forward with this these interlocal agreements, and due to the vast majority of Richmond being in Macomb, we only need to go with Macomb.
Very good, thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the interlocal agreement to approve the designated assessor for Macomb County for a period of January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2025, and authorize the city manager to sign on behalf of the city.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any further discussion? I know Colleen's here. Did she have anything that she'd like to say?
I just wanted to let the council know, and that there are several steps that would take place before this designated assessor ever stepped in to take over. if it were a case where the municipality wasn't compliant with the AMAR review, which is the minimum assessing requirements, there are still steps that have to be taken before a designated assessor. This is like the last ditch effort or the last thing that would be done if an assessor was needed. So this is just putting someone in place. They have someone there. There's been instances where there was no assessor to take over a municipality if something happened to the assessor. This is just having kind of a safety net, I guess you could say. It's not necessarily that the city is not just in non-compliance, but it's a safety net. If something should happen to the assessor, they have someone that can step in that is certified, that's qualified, that could step in and take over if they needed to.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions, council?
And that was part of the whole assessing reform that took place. That was part of that, was to have that designated assessor in place.
Okay. Thank you, Colleen.
You're welcome.
Council, have any questions? Any audience participation? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Against? Motion does pass. Item number 4 is consideration of sewer repairs on at Madison and Main Streets. Mr. City Manager.
A 2017 citywide sanitary sewer televising contract identified a partially collapsed sanitary sewer at Main and the intersection of Madison. The damaged pipe was recently found to be fully collapsed. Removal of the debris resulted in an open cavity above the missing pipe. Due to the location and depth of the pipe, the work cannot be completed by DPW staff as we do not have the proper shoring or excavator capable of safely digging to the depth required. As a result, our Public Service Director, Jim Getzinger, received 3 quotes to make these repairs. We're recommending the low bid from Robert Clancy Contracting in the amount of $6,500. And again, Public Service Director Jim Getzinger is here to answer any questions.
Jim, did you want to add anything?
I did just want to clarify that in 2017, we did identify just a few areas of sewer pipe that needed some minor work. This is one of them. A few manholes that we need to add for access. That was all, again, identified when we were doing sewer televising. This was not considered an emergency at that time. And still even now, I don't consider it a true emergency where it's immediately going to cause a sinkhole. But we were doing some work cleaning the sewer for Semco, who was doing some televising, and that's really what aggravated this and created the problem now. So we hadn't forgotten about it. We just I hadn't gotten to the point of putting a contract together to fix these isolated areas. And so that's why we're doing this one now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Is there a motion before further discussion?
I'll make the motion to authorize the expense of $6,500 for a sanitary sewer repair in Main Street at Madison to Robert Clancy Contracting, with the expense charged to the appropriate line item within the sanitary sewer fund.
Motion been made. Is there support?
Support.
Support.
Discussion? Jim, how deep is this?
It's approximately 9 feet deep.
Okay. She's down there a ways then.
Yeah, the city has a backhoe, but we do not have an excavator that would be required for this work.
Yeah. And you're probably going to put that in your budget for next year, is that? Yeah, that's a good laugh. I like the laugh. You know, come on. All right, council, any other comments? Anybody here to speak from the public, John?
I don't believe so. Nope.
Okay. Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. Item number 5 is consideration of adoption of resolution number 2020-11, Masters Machines IFT. Mr. City Manager.
The City Council is scheduled to approve resolution 2020-11, a resolution approving the Masters Machine IFT, the industrial facility tax exemption. The City Council previously approved resolution 2019-19 on August 19th of 2019. At that time, administration believed that it met the state's requirements to submit the IFT application package. However, we recently received an email back from Janae at the State Tax Commission, and there were several items on the application package that she wanted kind of corrected, one of them being the format of our resolution. I had missed a couple things that they wanted specifically mentioned in their in the resolution, and so tonight's resolution follows the State Tax Commission's format. Again, it's very similar to what you approved back in August, unfortunately, of 2019. It just is putting it in the State Tax Commission language that they want.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2020-11, a resolution approving the IFT request from Holden Holdings LLC, doing business as Masters Machine.
Support.
Motion been made and support. Is there any discussion on this item? Any audience participation on this item?
No.
Back to the table. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Against? Motion does pass. Okay, we move on to miscellaneous matters from the city manager, sir.
Just wanted to take a shout out for our Richmond TV holiday programs. If you haven't had a chance, go to our YouTube channel or watch on Channel 6 this weekend for the Richmond Christmas Spectacular, and then also the 2020 light display. Jason Robbins, our cable coordinator, did an excellent job on both those programs, especially on the Christmas Spectacular due to the circumstances surrounding this year and the cancellation of many Christmas events. He was able to put a nice program together for the community. Also, just want to thank the Richmond Fire Department, the rec department, and our librarian, Julianne Kammer, for all of their help this past weekend, getting Santa around all the neighborhoods in town. So appreciate their efforts.
John, the library has reopened again. Is that my understanding?
Correct.
Okay. And City Hall, the lobby has opened again.
The lobby is open, correct.
Okay. Okay. Is there any other changes?
No changes.
Okay, great.
Other than that, yep.
Okay. Council comments. Jamie?
Again, just thanking those people and especially that fire department. It was just great to see the neighbors' kids out running when you could hear the sirens and the excitement of that. And that what a blessing it is to be in a small town like ours that we're still able to do events like that. And then I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Okay. John?
Just a happy holiday, Merry Christmas.
Emily?
I concur with what Jamie said, and thank you to everyone for making such a special event. And yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone, and Happy New Year.
Dennis?
Yep, happy holidays, and agree with everybody that's already talked about everything.
Rob?
Yeah, again, Merry Christmas.
Michael?
Yeah, I concur as well. Also wanted to thank our state representative, Jeff Yark, who joined us today to give us an update, and also nice to see him back in town as well, and appreciate him being a voice for cities in Lansing, so especially the city of Richmond. So thank you, Councilor. Thank you, State Representative Jeff Yark.
Okay, I'm going to go to the calendar first here. Today being the 21st, of course, Christmas Eve on the 24th and Christmas Day on the 25th. City Hall and the community center, library buildings will all be closed. They'll reopen on the 28th and then close again on New Year's Eve, the 31st, and of course, New Year's Day, and again, open back up on January 4th, which is the next regular scheduled city council meeting. And I'll echo the same sentiments. You know, what a great town we have, what great people we have. And even with the COVID and everything else, of course, we all know we couldn't do what we had planned to do. And you know, built on the success of last year's festivities during Christmas. But I believe the meaning gets across in our town. You know, let's help shop local, eat local if they're open, if you can. Our restaurants, you know, they're not getting any relief right now. And from what I've heard from various owners, the city is doing a pretty good job of doing the carry out business for them to try to keep them going. So let's keep that up also. You know, I guess Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone. It was a tough 2020, but we accomplished many things that we set ourselves out to get done this year, working with the administration. And for that, we all should be very proud of the job we've done this past year. Looking forward to this 2021 working with council. Hopefully the pandemic will slow down a bit and hopefully the vaccines will work and God knows what else will help us get into a better year in 2021. So with that, is there any other business of the city council this evening? If not, motion to adjourn would be in order.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. There is no discussion on the adjournment motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Against?
Aye.
That was a late yes, wasn't it? I'm not sure if that was Emily or Jamie. We got to get away from these Zoom meetings anyhow. So, anyhow, it wasn't that bad. The motion does pass. And again, Happy New Year from the City Council and the administration. Thank the administration for being with us this evening. And God bless everybody. Good evening.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.